Hello and welcome to this Prepare for IELTS Speaking video. In this video we'll look at the part 1 topic, snacks. So snacks are things that you usually eat between meals. So things like crisps, nuts, it might be healthy things like a piece of fruit, but anything that is not a meal is a snack. So these are the kinds of questions that you might get asked. I'll go through the questions and answers, and at the end of the video there'll be a quick quiz to see what you can remember. Let's take a look. Entirely different. If two things are entirely different, it means they're completely different. They're very different. They're not the same. A great word for writing as well. Entirely means completely. Entirely different. To have a tendency to do something, another great phrase for writing, and it means you often do it or you usually do it. I have a tendency to do it. What is your opinion on snacks between meals? Well, what I think and what I do are two entirely different things. Snacking isn't good, but I have a tendency to do it. Nutritious. A fantastic adjective for both writing and speaking. Often you need to write about health in IELTS writing, so you can talk about nutritious foods. Nutritious. It means it's healthy and good for you. The noun nutrition is also useful. A piece of fruit. The reason why I have highlighted this item of vocabulary is because fruit is uncountable. So we say a piece of fruit, a piece of fruit. This topic is all about snacks. You can also use snack as a verb, to snack on, or just to snack, if you are snacking on. More great language for both writing and speaking, junk food or processed food. These are two very similar things, but junk food usually means fast foods that you get from a takeaway. So for example, a McDonald's burger or a pizza is fast food. It's made very fast. It doesn't always mean it's processed food though. Processed food is food that has gone through a process. So it's been made in a factory. So for example, these crisps have gone through a process. They've been changed from a potato into crisps. This is processed food. Both great words for writing and speaking. Junk food, processed food. Is it healthy to eat snacks? I guess it depends on the snack. If it is something nutritious like a piece of fruit, then yes. But if you are snacking on junk food or processed food, then no. Anything I can get my hands on. To get your hands on something means it's available. You can find it. So when I'm hungry, I will eat anything. Anything I can get my hands on. Anything I can find. I'm addicted to. If you're addicted to something, you're obsessed with it. You can't stop doing it. Here, I can't stop eating snacks. I'm addicted to sugary foods. Sugary foods means sweet foods, foods with sugar, sugary foods. I have a sweet tooth, an idiomatic expression, quite a simple idiomatic expression, but useful for this topic. To have a sweet tooth, you love sweet things more than savoury things or healthy things. I have a sweet tooth. Candies. In the UK, we call these sweets, but in America, they call them candies. You can use both words, sweets or candies. What kind of snacks do you like to eat? Anything I can get my hands on. I am addicted to sugary foods because I have a sweet tooth, so anything sweet like chocolate or candies. Stuff, a great word for IELTS speaking. Stuff just means things, so all the unhealthy stuff, unhealthy things. To consume, to eat. To consume. A very good word for IELTS writing. You often need verbs like this in IELTS writing task 1 academic, and great for IELTS writing task 2. Consume, eat. Far too many, far more carbs, much more, far. Carbs, a great word. We use it in speaking when we want to say carbohydrates. We wouldn't use it in writing. We would write carbohydrates. But in speaking, because carbohydrates is a long word, we always say carbs. You have good carbs and bad carbs. So these are some good carbs, things like carrots, tomatoes, broccoli are good carbs, but the bad carbs are processed foods like crisps, fizzy drinks, pasta, etc. Carbs. In writing and speaking, it's good to talk about or write about generations. Previous generations means older people. Very useful for IELTS writing. Previous generations. Notice I've put crisps, chips. In the UK we use crisps. In America they use chips. What kind of snacks do children in your country like to eat now? All the unhealthy stuff, such as crisps and sugary snacks. The younger generation consume far more carbs than previous generations. I'm not entirely sure. A great phrase to say, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Mates. When you're speaking, we often use mates because it's more informal. Pick and mix sweets or candies are sweets that are sold by weight. So you pick them, put them in a bag, and then the assistant weighs them and tells you how much you must pay. Pick and mix. The n in the middle is the unstressed form of and we usually write it like this, pick and mix. What was the most popular snack when you were young? Oh, I'm not entirely sure. Me and my mates used to get pick and mix sweets because they were far cheaper than they are now. Generally, great for both writing and speaking, usually. A treat or a reward is something nice that you give someone or yourself. So if you've worked hard studying for exam, then you get a treat, a reward. I'll promise myself a reward. So I say to myself, if I write 100 words, I will do this. I will have a treat. I'll promise myself. Motivation, great for both writing and speaking. Motivation is something that causes you to do something. So if I say to myself, if I write 100 words, I can have a bag of crisps, for example. This is my motivation, something that causes me to do something, something that gets me to do something. Motivation. When do you usually eat snacks? Generally when I'm bored or as a treat. So, for example, if I have an essay to write, I'll promise myself a reward if I write 100 words. I use snacks as motivation. Let's do the quiz now and see what you can remember. What do we call sweets or candies sold by weight? These are pick and mix. Pick and mix, because you pick them and mix them. Pick and mix. What is another way of saying a treat? You treat yourself with a treat, and it is also called a reward. A reward. You can also use it as a verb, to reward yourself. Which very useful verb means to eat. To consume. To consume. How can we say things? We only use this really in speaking. It's a bit informal for writing. Stuff. Stuff. How can we say something that causes you to do something? Motivation. There is also a verb to motivate. Motivation, a really useful verb and noun. To motivate, motivation. What can we call these kinds of foods? These are processed foods. They've gone through a process to be made. Processed foods. Which adjective means healthy and good for you? A great adjective for both writing and speaking. Nutritious. Nutritious. Useful for both writing and speaking. How can we say completely different? Entirely different. Entirely different. How can we say friends, but in an informal way? So good for speaking, we call them mates. Mates. And finally, how can we say I love sweet things more than savoury things or healthy things like a piece of fruit? I have a sweet tooth. I have a sweet tooth.